21-minute Ian interview with new footage on IGN. Okay. How has Dragonflight been in the works?
We start thinking usually a couple of expansions ahead. So, I mean, this is something that we knew was coming since...
I mean, they look pretty big. That's what I was saying, guys. Like, I mean, they're okay, dude. Yeah, and like, this is also not a super flattering angle, etc. We're gonna have to see. We'll compare it to the existing model. We'll do some research, okay, guys?
Before Shadowlands came out, kind of laying the groundwork and thinking about places in Azeroth that we have yet to explore and stories that we wanted to tell. Dragons are something that's always been such like a compelling part of all aspects of World of Warcraft. Whether it was Onyxia infiltrating, just like
bro, Rathian looks like such a fucking badass. Like the actual Giga Chad of WoW. Like I'm so glad about this. Rathian looks so cool that I don't even care about Alexstrasza. I don't even give a fuck about her. Like, let's make the entire expansion about Rathian. He's the best.
A compelling part of all aspects of World of Warcraft, whether it was Onyxia infiltrating, the human kingdom back in the very earliest days of WoW storytelling, to their role in Wrath of the Lich King and beyond. And so really excited to just like dive really deep into the nature of dragons and their history and their role in Azeroth. There are 4 major zones, as well as a separate starting zone for the Drakthir Evoker, which I'm sure we'll chat about in a little bit. And these 4 zones are not necessarily like themed around the Dragonflights the way you might think of the Dragon Shrines and Wrath of the Lich King or whatever, but they certainly have powerful ties to the history of the individual flights. Theme. So players will begin their journey.
I really like the background here of all the dragons flying to the little the beacon. I think this is just like, again, like traditional high fantasy. Like getting right down to basics. Like that's cool.
In the Waking Shores, which are, waking in the sense of literally, coming to life, and a place bursting with primal elemental energy and magma and tectonic activity. And it's no surprise that we're going to see both the red and the black Dragonflight, for example, very heavily represented here, with their close ties to the earth, fire, and that elemental energy. And as players continue to explore and traverse the Dragon Isles, this is also a space that is very vertical, which is fitting in a sense for a winged race of beings.
Fine.
But as you ascend, you'll be climbing through rolling plains into frozen tundra and eventually the peaks atop the Dragon Isles. And each zone has its own character, its own cultures and civilizations that have been living there for thousands of years. Not just dragons, but certainly in the shadow of dragons in their history. And all of those stories are going to intertwine as players explore this space.
Yeah, the Dragon Isles is a super varied landscape. At one time, this was all the domain of dragons, and they had struggles. They had enemies that they had to fight against and keep in line, but this was their kingdom. This was their homeland, again, where they laid their eggs, where they raised their young. And so to come back here after thousands and thousands of years have passed, because they had to leave it behind when the sundering of the world caused that elemental energy to kind of drain away from these lands. And now, with all that's happened and Azeroth taking that next step of revitalization, those energies are coming back. And that's what's causing this land to awaken. And that's having all kinds of ripple effects. As the dragons come back to reclaim their lands, other forces want to stake their claim to these.
Come on, guys. Why y'all make fun of his eyebrows? What y'all gotta do to make fun of his eyebrows? Like, god damn, can't Steven catch a break? I feel like there's nothing that Steven can do that doesn't get him roasted. Like,
how about he just does a better story?
Who gives a fuck? Like, his eyebrows, guys, like, god damn, chill out.
Very magical lands as well.
Exploration of Dragon Isles.
Our goal is to have, compared to Shadowlands certainly, much more freedom of exploration and less linearity within the individual zones. But as you level from 60 to 70, there is still this sense of the first, second, third, and fourth zone.
I think this makes sense. This is just a better way of telling the story. I think that in BFA and also in Legion, whenever you could level through whatever zone you wanted, I feel like the storytelling was not as strong as if it was a Like, like, you know, you go from zone 1, 2, and 3. It tells like a consecutive narrative story. It's just it's just better this way.
At least on your initial.
Come on, guys. What are you gonna make fun of everybody's eyebrows now? God damn! Like, give him a break. Give the man a break. Like, he just had to do, like, this shit he's got to read every day. Like, of course they're gone, man. Make fun of yours. Damn.
Play through when you're first character. I think as we saw with Threads of Fate and Shadowlands, we want to make sure there's maximum flexibility when you're leveling alts. But I think, you know, there's one of the things we learned from the full branching sandbox structure of Legion and BFA, where you could do the zones in any order, is that it's more challenging, and in some cases impossible, to have a linear narrative arc when you can do the zones in any order.
Exactly.
As players are going to discover, when they
get
there, their journey necessarily will take them to the summit of the Dragon Isles, to the Tower of Tyrhold that we saw in the cinematic where that beacon was lit. And being able to just start there as your first zone would kind of undercut some of that. But it's, you know, we want an exciting journey guided by purpose.
That's the right decision.
With tons of freedom to explore.
That is the right decision, you know, I think.
Get to know the cultures that you're interacting with, to chase side quests, and to feel like, you know, there's a story moving you forward, but you're not on rails the whole way.
Yeah, the Dragon Isles is a land that's alive with stories, and while there is that central thread that takes you through the land, you'll uncover all sorts of different groups, different reputations that you can work through, that as you build them up, more stories unlock that way. So it is meant to encourage exploration and for the player to choose which groups they're more interested in, and that rewards them by not only giving them more story quests, but also cool rewards that are tied to these different groups.
That's good. The Drakthir Evokers.
We probably started with the idea of a new race first. You know, it's one of the things, as we're coming up with any expansion concept, we ask the question of, like, is there a natural fit here in terms of a new player race that we could introduce? And there's something compelling about both, you know, the fantasy of, you know, literally being a dragon, at something that, you know, players love dragons, love everything about them, including their ability to take on a visage form and meld with, you know, the rest of society. But we're learning about the perspective of the Dragon Isles from their side, as well as from the perspective of the rest of Azeroth and the humans and dwarves and elves who are coming to the shores for the first time. So I think once we really got excited about the idea of chasing a customizable full player...
I'm not a big fan of the way the dragons look, like their facial tattoos and everything. And I'll be honest, I always thought the Aura, or Aura, whatever the fuck they were in Final Fantasy, I thought they looked dumb too. Like, I always think that the... Like, there are very few times where you have, like, a dragon, like, humanoid combo, and it looks like this, and it doesn't look dumb. Like, I don't think that I just don't think it's blended very well. I don't know, I just don't think it's that great. Little son? Yeah, look, bro, it doesn't look that great. Like, that's all.
Race that delivered the fantasy of being a dragon, being a descendant of the dragons in Azeroth. Well, then that natural next question was like, well, what classes can they be or should they be?
Right.
And increasingly and pretty rapidly, we realized that, like, none of our existing classes was exactly the right fit. You know, the fantasy of being a dragon, they call down powers that are different than what mages or warriors or any of our known classes do.
Yeah, they're a mount.
Of course, by their nature, they have these unique physical gifts, like literal wings and claws, the ability to unleash breath weapons. And so that got us really excited about building this, you know, integrated race/class that could only ever be a Drakthir. As well, you know, try as they might, we want to make sure that, you know, all
it's
the different races of
Azeroth decision,
can learn
like I said,
the range of skills and talents of the other classes. An elf is never going to be able to literally take flight and do a soaring deep breath over their enemies. Only Drakthir can do that.
Yeah, as you explore the background of the Drakthir and learn about their origins, you'll see how they are uniquely positioned to tap into the magic that was bestowed upon the aspects in the different Dragonflights. So their abilities are themed around those different Dragonflights and felt like something that should be unique to the Drakthir, that it should be their legacy that they are claiming and finding their place in the world. So it just allowed us to tell some really cool stories about them tapping into these powers and exploring the Dragon Isles through their eyes as well.
Cool. Is the new talent system moving away from growth systems that we throw away at the end of each expansion? Okay, all right. Now we have this. This question was asked by somebody who actually plays the fucking game. Okay, here we go.
In the years since we moved away from the standard talent trees that we had, back in Wrath and in the classic days to the Mists of Pandaria style system, we've realized that while, there was initial appeal to focusing the choices and, really meaningful pivots in your character's capabilities, that system didn't lend itself to the same sort of ongoing growth and expansion. And in the past, we might have just said, hey, it's a new expansion, you have 10 new talent points, 10 new levels, this is what your class is gaining. We were increasingly turning to new systems to kind of fill the hole that the change to the talent system left.
Yeah.
Things like artifact weapons or Azurite or...
It's actually a really good point, is that they stopped adding in new talents, and instead of the new talents, they added in borrowed power instead. That's pretty much what happened. Yeah, he's right about this.
Covenants and their soulbinds, and of course some of these were more successful than others, and there was a lot of excitement in them. It also inherently feels pretty bad to leave something behind at the start of every new journey, to start every expansion by saying goodbye to a piece of your character that you've grown attached to over.
Or like the entire thing in Legion, like all of my fucking artifact power traits, all my artifact power that I farmed, my legendaries, my tier sets. Remember, like my entire character that stopped working?
The last couple of years, as opposed to feeling like you're progressing, you're carrying this forward. And so we're really excited to overhaul our talent system, return to its roots in a sense, but also carry a lot of the lessons that we've learned over the last dozen years about different talent systems and how our players play the game today.
I'm glad. That's a good answer. It's the best answer you could have given. Will it be easy to respec?
Our goal here is maximum customization and flexibility, and really returning to some of the things that we lost, like being able to really be a hybrid. Say you're a paladin and you're a ret paladin. Are you ret holy or are you ret prot?
Wait, wasn't I just saying at the beginning of this that it would be really cool if they made ret half a healer?
Listen,
Listen,
asshole. Listen, that's you say that like it's supposed to be a gotcha or something like that, okay? I fully agree with that, because the problem is that when you lean into ret being a full-on like DPS, the devs still have in the back of their mind that they have other shit that they can do to bring to the raid, and nobody actually brings a ret to the raid to do that shit. So if they lean into the hybrid mentality, that would be good. Don't check your phone, asshole. Fuck you. You're such a bitch. You're such
I get it. I get it. Right? Ret is...
You are such a cunt, dude. You are such a fucking cunt. Actual cunt, though, dude.
Look, I get it. Yeah, it makes the class better. It actually does.
You brought it up, okay? You have to let me defend my point of view if you're gonna bring it up.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
That's all I wanted to say. Just
all right.
Stop, okay?
Got it. Yep, got it. Totally understand.
That's something that had meaning a dozen years ago, but that you can't really express in today's system in Shadowlands. That's something we see as essential to the Dragonflight system going forward.
Yeah.
But with that customization, we also recognize that players expect, and rightly so, the flexibility of being able to optimize and problem solve around specific settings, whether you're going into Mythic Plus, whether you're changing roles, whether you're going from an ads-heavy raid encounter to a single target raid encounter, PvP, whatever else. And so we don't want to bring back any of these sort of old school classic increasing costs on respecking or anything like that. Our current plan is for you to have multiple loadouts that you can change in town and customize there, but once you have loadouts set out in the field, you can just swap from your Mythic Plus loadout to your raid loadout, get summoned to the raid, and you're good to go.
I don't know how this is gonna look. I hate whenever he says loadouts. He started saying this in like BFA. It makes me so mad. But like, that's good. Like, yeah, you just swap over and that's it. Like, just literally zero friction. No friction. If you want to do this, you do this. If you want to do that, you do that. It's that simple. dragon riding creature.
It's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing in that the Dragon Isles, we were conceiving of them as a very vertical space from the start because that's really what suits the fantasy of the location. But I think dragon riding is a natural fit because it allows players to adapt their movement and their traversal to what the world asks of them. And from a level design perspective and from a content design perspective, yeah, as you level up and improve your dragon riding skills, you may be able to more easily reach locations that you couldn't before in terms of accessing new content. And in just how we lay things out,
it's like how
there's a lot more space in the Dragon Isles than in many of our recent expansion zones. A lot of negative space in a way that I think makes the world feel more alive and more real. It's a place that exists.
Whoa, one sec. All right, so where it be? So like that's Northrend. This one, what the fuck? This is the Broken Isles. All right, so this is the Broken Isles. That's the Turtle. That what the fuck? I think this is the Goblin area. What the fuck is this? Right of Northrend? Nah, bro, it can't be that. That's Silvermoon. It looks like Africa, but it's Silvermoon. It's like maybe it's this? Like, I don't know.
In a way that I think makes the world feel more alive and more real. It's a place that exists in which stories occur, as opposed to a place that was crafted to tell a specific story.
Yes,
but one of the reasons that's, one of the things in the past that's led us to more compact zones is just the convenience of travel and how players can get around. But when we know that, once you've gone out and reached the top of that cliff over there, you can just hop on your Drake companion and, dive bomb, gain a ton of momentum towards the ground and glide your way back to turn in your quest. Suddenly it makes it much easier to actually deliver that, immersive world setting without feeling like the gameplay mechanics are fighting against it.
Our level designers were super excited to embrace the verticality of the Dragon Isles and make it this place that had these things you could see in the distance and figure out how to navigate to them. That sense of wonder as you see these vast horizons. That was something they really embraced, and were excited to make this land that felt very open, very vertical, lots of places to aspire to reaching, but also feeling like the dragons had that you can see their wings spreading out over the vast plains and soaring through the sky, and to be up there with them is just a great thrill that our players will really appreciate.
Yeah, this is cool to me. All right.
Our profession overhaul for Dragon Isles crafting in particular, I think, is aiming to deliver something that, frankly, I think has always been a missed opportunity for World of Warcraft, and that's a real sense of depth and identity to our trade skills.
We had that in Burning Crusade. Like, we had actual depth and identity in Burning Crusade. Because if you were a blacksmith and you were a mace smith, your rating in Arena went up by 300 points.
Yeah.
Like, that's all there is to it. If you were a swordsmith, your DPS went up by 100. And if you were an axe smith, well, you know what? Everybody makes mistakes. And, if you think that's not enough, you can be an armor smith and be even dumber than that. And so, like, this is the facts, right? Is like, this is a good thing. It is. Like, giving people more ways to customize their character through professions, I think, is good. If they're adding a lot more focus into professions, I wish they made it to where you could do more than 2 professions. You could do 2 crafting and 2 gathering or something like that.
There's no reason why being able to say I'm a blacksmith or I'm an alchemist or I'm an herbalist couldn't be every bit as much a part of your character's identity
other games have
as
that. It's fine.
The spec that you choose to play or the content that you choose to pursue. I think some of the closest that we came to that was actually probably 17 years ago, where if you were a notorious enchanter on your server who had gone out and collected all of the recipes and you had the best enchanting rod, people could seek you out across your server because they knew that, like, yep, you're the one.
This is what happened with the Lionheart helm in Classic WoW. So I got the Lionheart helm pattern. I was like the first person on the server, and I price fixed with all the other guys that had the server, the helm pattern on the server, and we only charged 100 gold. It was never more and never less. It was 100 gold no matter what. So it was so good because we made so much extra money. It was amazing. Same with Crusader. Yeah, but Crusader was harder to do because more people could get it. Lionheart Helm was much more rare. Cartel, yes.
Who can provide what everyone wants. Increasingly, that amount of differentiation has been lost when it comes to professions. So one of our goals in Dragon Isle's crafting and gathering has really been to allow people who want to really go deep, to specialize, to master their art.
So this is exactly like the New World crafting. Like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, this is exactly the same. Yeah.
To be able to make some of the
Which, by the way, is good. The New World crafting was good.
Powerful items around, but also to be able to interact socially in a way that hasn't been the case in a while. We have a new system of work orders and collaborative crafting that can allow people to get maybe a bind-on pickup crafting material from running a dungeon or from doing something out in the world. They can then bring to a crafter and have the crafter turn into a piece of armor or something for them to wield. Or they can go to the new work order section that's kind of an addition to our auction house system, where they can list their work order and the materials that they are providing, what their commission they're going to pay is, and then crafters can come along and see, okay, there's this thing that I can do, I can make some gold, I can improve my blacksmithing skill, let me fill this work order.
I don't know how this is going to work. Like, it's a cool idea, but like if crafting the item is just a click, why wouldn't people just do it? Like, yeah, like why would it's like, couldn't you just click it and that would be it? You know what I mean? Like free gold sounds good because of a cooldown. Oh, it could be a cooldown. Yeah, you're right about that. At 5 of 5 might be very rare. Yeah, they can provide mats to you. Yeah, I'm not sure really if this is how this is gonna go. I'm skeptical of this system, to be honest. It sounds really cool. I like the idea of it, but it needs to be implemented in the right way.
Same. I'm thinking same.
Specialization will increase probability. Yeah, I remember like there was like in Burning Crusade, right? My mom she was like a transmute master, and so like she still remembered 10 years later whenever she fucking procced 5 primal mites. 10 years later. Like, whenever she made 1 and it turned into fucking 5. Warclaws, thanks to the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you know what the first thing she said was after that? Well, that never happened again. You know, and that's true, right? But it happened once and she remembered it. And so, like, that kind of stuff is cool, for sure.
And so there's a lot of nuance, a lot of depth. Can't wait to see players' reactions to this over the course of our alpha and beta. Yeah. But we're really trying something truly fresh when it comes to professions in Dragonflight. One of the other things we're really excited to bring in Dragonflight is a fresh look and an updating of our World of Warcraft user interface, starting with the HUD, the heads-up display that consists of the action bars, the unit frames, what you see on your screen as you're running around the world moment to moment. And there's 2 pieces to this. Yeah. One is simply the aesthetic. In many ways, the aesthetic of the World of Warcraft UI is not something that has evolved meaningfully in the last 17 years. We want to do something that remains true to its origins, but also feels fresh and modern and crisp and supports higher resolution monitors and the way people play the game today. Speaking of higher resolution monitors, I think one of the other challenges with our UI, our default UI, is that it doesn't necessarily have information laid out in the best way possible for the larger screens that people are playing on today. I think the default of literally having, you have your own player frame in the upper left-hand corner, your buffs and debuffs in the upper right-hand corner, you're looking at your action bars at the bottom. That all worked physically when the UI was originally created for the 1024 by 768 CRT monitors people were playing on back in the day. But now you get your cool widescreen, ultra widescreen monitor, you want to play all your games on it. All your other games instantly feel better. The default the default UI experience in WoW is honestly not really the case today. And so one of the things we wanted to solve was information layout, offering better, more centralized defaults, but also a much greater level of customization and flexibility to let players, without needing add-ons, move things around, place the information where it suits their playstyle and their aesthetic.
Does UI redesign potentially make it easier to do a console port in the future?
World of Warcraft.
This is actually such a good thing. I think they should make WoW on console as long as it doesn't just like fuck the game up, right? Like if it fucks the game up, then they shouldn't do it. But keep in mind, Final Fantasy is on console, And Elder Scrolls Online is on console. I'm pretty sure New World will soon be on console too. And maybe also Lost Ark. Like, there are already 2 success cases of a game going to console, an MMO going to console, and retaining its complexity. So I'm not completely sold on the idea that going to console was bad.
Warcraft is a game designed from the ground up for the PC. I think, we've just been looking at the ways in which
I don't know if it'll ever
add-ons
happen.
felt increasingly required. Where, like, the first thing you do when someone comes to the game for the first time is tell them, hey, go download this add-on pack and move this stuff around.
Yeah, it's too much.
We want to do better for our players. And
Yeah.
so, really, it's
a huge issue.
We're not looking to replace add-ons. We know that people love that powerful, customizable aspect of our game. And we're not going to take away your LVY or whatever else your add-on of choice is. But we want to make the out-of-the-box baseline experience just better and more accessible.
Can Horde players expect a bit more stability in the future given what their faction has been through? Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? Like, why are we even talking about this? Like, why does this even... Like, literally, nobody cares about the Horde. Like, what is this? Is it going to be Steve? It's going to be
One of the nice things as we're going
we go.
into Dragonflight is that the Horde and the Alliance have had time to kind of reflect on recent events and to live in this period of truce between them. So unlike some of our previous expansions where the Horde and Alliance were contesting for ground, they're actually making a cooperative effort here in going to the Dragon Isles together. And one of the ways that they're differentiating some of the things they've done in the past is this is, at first and foremost, an exploration of this new land. And so it's fitting that they have their explorers come forth and lead the charge. So on the Alliance side, the Explorers League will be working with, on the Horde side, the Reliquary. And together, they're forming something they call the Dragonscale Expedition. And these 2 groups will be navigating through these lands, setting up little outposts for us, helping us along our way as
Whoa.
I'm about it.
Whoa, that's cool.
I'm about it. Yep, that's a badass shit, right? Holy fuck.
We're exploring these ancient lands, and that leads to some fun kind of rivalries where you have these 2 different groups that are both interested in relics and knowledge, but they've got to work together. This is the spirit of cooperation, but there can still be some of those little internal rivalries that are just fun storytelling. It's an exciting time for both of these groups. The Horde has a council now, no longer a single war chief that's guiding them into conflict.
I don't like that. I think they should have a war chief. You know what I think should happen? I think that they should just literally say, listen, Thrall's the war chief again. People are like, what? I thought he's not the war chief anymore. But, like, that was before, this is now. Thrall's the war chief again. It is what it is. That's it. That's done. And like, yep, they're all, because, like, he grew his hair back. He started working out again. Like, yeah, Thrall's war chief again.
And we'll explore those stories and kind of see where the Horde is
at.
Remember,
Thrall used to be a badass.
See how the Alliance is dealing with some of the changes
like
that
that Cataclysm WAD Thrall was not really Thrall. That's a good question. That's a good fucking question. Will Master System ever come back?
We have nothing specific to announce there. I think I will say that we're not rapturously happy with personal loot and its complexities.
Good.
It's a system that often can...
Well, its complexities are all your idea. What do you mean it's complexities? Like, you're the one that decided that we're gonna have this whole thing where you can't trade a tier piece since you have a tier piece. You want to get rid of the complexities, just delete them. Like, these are invented problems.
Feel inscrutable to players and can cause some frustration where you can't understand why you can't trade something or when you can.
Stupid.
We know there's room to improve there. And so I think some form of collaborative, cooperative loot allocation is not completely off the table, but there's nothing specific that we've settled on just yet.
That seems fair. Yeah, that seems fair. Listen, this is what I think they should do with Master Loot. Bring back Master Loot for guilds, and I think that's fair. And then let people that are, let people that are, so no, before they just gave a flat no on it. This one they said they didn't give a flat no. And so, like, yeah, bring it back for guilds. And also for pugs and stuff like this, let people trade whatever they want. It gets simple. If you get an item, you can trade the item. That's it. That's literally it. It's very simple. There's no complexity to it. There's nothing crazy like that. It's just it's simple with no bullshit. No boosting? Who cares? Boosting's gonna happen anyway. You realize, like, boosting doesn't happen, right? Like, at the beginning of the patch, boosting only happens later on in the patch whenever everybody that's boosting can trade the item anyway. That's not even how it works. The only thing that this prevents people from doing is, like, funneling gear to one character at the start of a tier. And if a guild wants to do that, who cares? Is this such a bad thing that the entire game has to change because of it? I don't think so, man. I really don't. You want to get boosted? No. I don't. This is not even a problem to me. Do you know why it's not a problem to me? Is because I only invite people that have the equivalent item level because I know they can trade the gear. I already know how to beat this system. This isn't a change for me. It doesn't affect me at all. It only affects just average guilds and just like random pugs. Master Guilds should only happen whenever the group votes it unanimously. I think that it was fine with guilds. A guild should be able to decide what they're doing. Like, it's literally that simple. Yeah, it'd be easier for guilds to get new players and help them with their item level. Yeah, that's true. Designing for 1%? Exactly, I agree. Oh, is this a conversation? Like, control, like, people like to control and distribute loot? Exactly. And what about the casual player? I think this is better for casual players. Like, you understand, like, the more convoluted a system is, the more difficult it is for a casual player to understand it. Like, oh, they have to keep track of, like, what tier gear they have, what item they have in their slot and everything like that. It's more annoying. So, yeah, I think it's worse. Bring back ninja looting? Well, I mean, if it's in a guild, if you ninja loot, I'd never ninja looted for my guild before, okay? So, like, keep that in mind. We still use loot council in many guilds and Wrath of the Lich King servers and not give items to not deserving them. Of course, that's the case, right? But what I'm saying is, if they want to do if they want to keep personal loot, remove the unnecessary restrictions. Yeah, just remove remove all restrictions.
It's really fun seeing the community reaction to the return of tier sets, and bring them back in a way that they're not just for raiders, but also accessible to players who do Mythic Plus, players who PvP.
Yeah.
And it's something that we're definitely going to carry forward into Dragonflight and beyond. And just excited to see that evolve along with the rest of our systems.
Version of the Great Vault in Dragonflight within weekly loot. I hope so. I thought the Great Vault in Shadowlands was good. Actually, after I finish looking at this stuff, I'm going to open up my vault too and get my stuff. Yeah, I think that it's good.
Overall, we're happy with how the Great Vault has played out. There's
awesome.
Room for improvement and something that we're going to continue to iterate on the same way we recently improved.
Which, by the way, remember whenever the Great Vault first came out and I said 15 Mythic Pluses was too many? Do you remember whenever I said that? And everyone was like, no, well then, you just don't, no, it's not true. And then they did exactly what I said they should do. Remember that?
The consolation prize, for example, in a recent update, if there isn't something you pick from your vault in a given week. But that weekly structure to complement Mythic Plus
but I can
and
still
PvP
do that.
Makes sense. And we feel that the Great Vault is a better version of that system than the standalone single item chest that we had in Legion and Battle for Azeroth.
I completely agree. I think that the Great Vault is a much bigger improvement. Are there people that actually think that it's a bad idea? Do you guys really don't like the Great Vault?
I like it, man.
I think it's good. I actually think the Great Vault is totally fine. Like, so you can target the items that you're going to get. You have a more fixed pool of the items. The more you engage in the content, the more chances you have. And it's also free loot. It's literally just free loot. Could still use improvements, like not getting duplicate items. Yeah, I think they should have a smart system to prevent that. Yeah, like if I get another necklace today, I'm going to go insane. I agree with you there. New mount concept? Yeah, let's finish this and we're going to look at it. Yeah, I think it's totally fine. Obviously, like small improvements, as I said, but I like the concept of it.
Continue to iterate on that as we carry it forward.
Dragonflight expansion, we time travel to Bronze Dragonflight again. Ooh, that's a good question.
one of the cool things about the Dragonflights is that the bronze is back. We get to see their place of power in the Dragon Isles, and it's very much time-themed. There'll be some great adventures there, and yeah, as we know from past stories, the bronze aren't the only ones who are interested in the time ways. There are infinite dragons out there as well, and so how these two groups interact, what their goals are, what they're trying to achieve, that's very much interwoven into the story of Dragonflight.
That's cool. I love that.
You know, it would be criminal for us to have a dragon-themed expansion coming to this homeland of ancient secrets, ancient discoveries, and not have Rathian, the smarmy, handsome, dashing, a little bit annoying sometimes, representative of black dragons coming with us and exploring these lands and getting his perspective on this, because he's young, he's never seen these lands before, so this is all new to him as well. And seeing Rathian's perspective on this is always fun, but especially here in the Dragon Isles, it's going to be a real treat to adventure alongside him and get his take on some of these events in the history that's unfolding.
Rathian's the best. Fuck Alexstrasza. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, I think all the answers were good, pretty much. I just hate whenever whenever Ian says, like, man, yeah, this is a huge problem, and, like, yeah, it's an issue with the game, like, for sure, absolutely. And it's like, well, then fix it, man. Like, fucking change it. Like, you come on, well, then, alright, if you think it's bad, just fix the game. Release date? Bro, they don't even have a date for the alpha. Like, this shit's not gonna be out for a long time, man. Like, don't worry about that. It's not gonna happen for quite a while. Don't worry about that. As I said, it's gonna come out, if I had to guess, probably the middle of next year or something like that. Dungeon Finder removed. Where was the new check your Reddit? People are malding. Okay, I'll look at that in a minute.
They're
okay?
Malding, dude.
All right, I'll look at it.
They are pissed.
Thank God. Thank God. All right, we're
people on your Reddit are mad.
Thank God. All right, let's see this. So, where is it? New tier armor. I already saw the tier armor. Okay, which actor would play Rathian? I mean, obvious. Everybody knows it's Jason Momoa. Like, I mean, they basically modeled Rathian off of Jason Momoa. Great call, by the way. Great fucking call. Perfect decision. And, yeah, let me look at the other stuff. Johnny Depp. Maybe a younger Johnny Depp, for sure. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, something like that. Johnny Depp would be good. And, he's too big. Yeah, he's a bit of a bigger guy. You're right about that. Okay, let's see here. The Dragon Dance? Like, what do you mean, Dragon? Oh, shit. Look at all of this. Oh, my God. Look at all of this. There are a whole lot of these. Okay, let's see this. This is the dragon reveal. Oh, that's, well, oh shit, there's Alexstrasza right there. Oh my God. I feel like that, doesn't she have like a little bit more stuff on her? I don't know. Okay, that sounds fine to me. That's good. Okay, let's see this one.
You know what? How come they didn't ask if Alexstrasza is going to be back and if Alexstrasza's hot? But it's okay to ask if Rathian's still hot? A little sexist.
Yeah, very true.
Don't really care for that.
Very true. I agree. Yeah, when are they gonna make Alexstrasza's boobs bigger? Come on. Yeah, those are the real questions. Let's see this one here. So we've got that, and what's this over there? This looks okay too. And let's see. I'm gonna scroll down. These are this is just other resolutions. That sounds fine. Oh, this is Kalagos. Okay, so yeah, this is literally Kalagos. It says right there. All right, and this has got to be, I guess, one of the new raid areas. I mean, this looks fine to me. I'm okay with this. And let's see, Dragonflight cinematic. And all of this looks good. As I said, I like the cinematic, the way it looks, everything about it definitely is good. And let's see here with the logo, the key art, and then here's some concept art right here. I guess it's kind of like a fractured world. I like that too. This is cool. That's cool. That's actually very fucking cool. I like that a lot. And those are the original dragons. We saw that before. Raid tier set concepts. The Drakthir. Let's see this. This is the Drakthir dance. The fuck is this? Did I just download an executable file?
Uh-oh.
Seems good to me. Yep. Seems good to me. Alrighty. Yep, totally fine. It's I think it's totally fine. It's whatever, right? It's the shuffle, yeah. Is it Fortnite? They're not. No, they're not flossing, man. Stop. Okay. Let's see these. Obviously, yeah. The drag theory. These are all cool.
What dance is that?
I don't even know, dude. I have no fucking idea. As I said, I just feel like they look a little bit weird. The human forms look a little bit weird.
I mean, they can always change that shit.
Yeah,
they change the
yeah, that's true. Like, I think this one looks good, and I think that... I think this one kind of looks good. I'm not really a fan of these two. Like, this one, I feel just, like, looks like super, like, photoshopped, kind of.
Man, I feel weird. I feel like... I have the exact opposite opinion of most of chat, actually.
With what?
I think they should have added this kind of shit, like, right after Cataclysm. Like, they should have added Drakthir a decade ago. Because... Yep. I don't know. I just feel like WoW's been overdue for, like, a dragon kind of
like some
shit.
Cool shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm completely on board with this.
Yeah, this is cool to me. Like, I'm down with this. Is whatever. Like, yeah, I'm totally okay with it, man. The male ones, yeah, the male ones look way hotter. I agree. And let's see here, Drakthir run. Okay, let's download this and see what this is. Okay, and this is just a bunch of other bullshit. I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay, let's see here, Drakthir dance. Wait, did it not work? Okay, give me a second. Oh, I have to click that. All right, there, that should work now, right? The fuck? Okay, well, it's not working for some reason. I guess, like, maybe the update must be broken. But anyway, like, yeah, obviously all this stuff looks good. And let's go over right now. I want to see what people are saying on my Reddit, okay? And we're going to get into that. All right, here we go. What the fuck is that? Seems fine to me. Yeah, I mean, it seems fine to me. Like, I don't know. Is this okay to me? Like, is this bad? Like, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? You literally complained about it when it showed up.
No,
you're
it was
like,
the
this
other
looks
one.
goofy.
Yeah, but it's not awful. Like, I mean, it's not like it's what it... Like, yes, you're right. It doesn't look fucking amazing. But is it worth making a Reddit post about it? Does that make sense?
No, nothing is ever worth making a Reddit post
That
about.
is true. That's very true. People want bulky, cool BWO Dragonkin. They get naked soy dragons. I do think that they should have, like, if they could do, like, options to make them a little bit more, you know,
beefy.
bulky. Yeah, beefy boys. I think that'd be badass.
I would agree.
Furries just got their new toys. Oh, God. True. Oh, my God. You want to make so many things look completely human? Yeah, I think it's totally fucking fine, man. And there's nothing wrong with it in my mind. I think it's totally fine. It's an Argonian from Elder Scrolls with wings. So many people hype way too much about. It looks terrible. It looks fine to me. And let's see this one. Can't wait to play Donkey's Wife. Oh my god. I wonder if they made it like that on purpose. Yeah, I do. I wonder if they made it like that on purpose.